story compared to what's going on in Elizabeth City, and that's the Western Journal is reporting the family of Air Force vet that was killed back on January the 6th in the Capitol announced a major lawsuit earlier this week against Capitol Police. Ashley Babbitt's family is planning to sue the U.S. Capitol Police and the officer who shot and killed Babbitt, even though we still don't know who that officer is. Plans for the lawsuit, which will seek at least $10 million in damages, were announced after federal prosecutors decided not to press criminal charges against the plainclothes Capitol Police lieutenant who killed Babbitt. Prosecutors would have to prove not only that the officer used force that was constitutionally unreasonable, but the officer did so willfully, which the Supreme Court has interpreted to mean that the officer acted with a bad purpose to disregard the law. This, according to a Justice Department statement from earlier this week. The investigation revealed no evidence to establish that at the time the officer fired a single shot at Ms. Babbitt. The officer did not reasonably believe that it was necessary to do so in self-defense or in defense of the members of Congress or others evacuating the House chamber. Okay, so, and listen, I am not passing judgment on this Capitol Police officer, but can we make that same application to the Elizabeth City deputies? Are they going to be given the same grace? Babbitt was shot and killed while rioters tried to break through the doors of the Speaker's lobby at the Capitol. She was unarmed. She was a vet. She was not a felon. Now, I know that the police officer, the Capitol Police officer, didn't have the ability to know this. But as the Western Journal reports, at best, she was trespassing. Did this individual, and there was other police officers there, did this individual woman pose a life-threatening threat that lethal force should have been used? On the contrary, though, in Elizabeth City, those deputies knew that Andrew Brown Jr. was a felon. They knew he was a drug dealer. There was probably suspicion that he could have been armed. And he was driving his car. And again, okay, we'll wait for the video evidence, but, you know, early speculation from the DA up there, and he doesn't have a, he doesn't have a dog in the fight. He's merely the DA that is looking to, you know, represent the citizens. He is saying that Andrew Brown used the car as a weapon. So can we just have at least the same amount of grace given to those deputies that's being given to the police officer up in the Capitol? I think that might be fair. Republican senators, this out of the Washington Free Beacon, are working to make the electric battery company Joe Biden toured to promote his $1.9 trillion infrastructure plan, this year's Solyndra. Yeah, you remember the boondoggle Solyndra? How many was it? $500 million they got? Some astronomical amount of money. And Solyndra went belly up, and still don't know what happened to all the money. Biden's promotion of the electric battery and bus manufacturer Proterra has struck a nerve on Capitol Hill after the Washington Free Beacon reported that Biden's energy secretary, Jennifer Granholm, still has up to $5 million invested in the company. The administration's $1.9 trillion infrastructure plan includes a $174 billion investment in electric vehicles, as well as plans to replace diesel-powered buses with electric-powered buses, the very product that Proterra specializes in. Ted Cruz says the conflict of interest created by Biden's visit to has the potential to be even worse than Solyndra, the solar company that went bankrupt after receiving hundreds of millions of dollars in government-backed loans from the Obama administration. I mean, it was amazing how quickly Solyndra, I think it was $300 million, and how quickly they went through it and how quickly they went belly up. President Biden's decision to heavily promote a business where his energy secretary holds a multi-million-dollar stake has all the potential to be even worse than Solyndra, Cruz told the Free Beacon. President Biden and Secretary Granholm should immediately remove themselves from their glaring conflict of interest. The Solyndra boondoggle became a lasting symbol of failure during the Obama administration, which awarded the green energy firm, I'm sorry, it wasn't $300 million, it was $535 million. But the mainstream media doesn't hold them accountable. They won't hold Joe Biden accountable. You've got to go to conservative websites and conservative outlets and conservative radio shows to even find this information out. News and Observer is reporting North Carolinians can still sue a person who has an affair with their spouse. A handful of lawmakers killed the bill that would have been repealed the law that is a century old. In a hearing this past Wednesday morning, members of the House Judiciary Committee split in a 4-4 vote on whether to advance House Bill 485 and eliminates the state's criminal conversions law. Conversations law. The tie vote kept the bill from moving forward. This isn't the first time lawmakers have attempted to remove North Carolina from a list of just 6 states where husbands or wives can sue a third party for having an affair with their spouse. Alienation of affection. England abolished the century-old law, which originated when men still considered women as property in the 1850s. That's out of the News and Observer. I don't know that just because they had this law on the books that they were considering, at least all men were considering women as property. I think that's a little over the top. The law is harsh, cruel, and has not been used as intended, said Representative Billy Richardson, a Democrat from Fayetteville. That's extortion, he said. Really? I think this alienation. Listen, I know of situations, contemporary situations, just within the last several years, of which this alienation of affection was very appropriate for a situation like this. I mean, if one spouse loses the other spouse, should that spouse not have the recourse to get financial gain from the person that took away the other spouse? And when you stop and think about it, I mean, there will be financial hardship when this kind of thing happens. I mean, who's going to take care of the kids if the husband's away working and the wife is now gone from the scene? So I don't know. And quite frankly, do we not need laws on the books that protect the family? Laws that will keep this kind of thing from happening, adultery from happening? Oh, I know I'm archaic. I know I'm antiquated. For heaven forbid, we do something to protect the family. But I mean, all the issues that we're seeing around the country today, I think all go back to the breakdown of the family. And listen, I know that there are people out there that, there are single moms out there, single dads out there who are doing the best they can. God bless you. But, and I'm not saying this is going to be the perfect solution, but well, obviously it's not, because it's been on the books all along. But we need more laws that protect and keep the family intact. So I say good for the North Carolina legislature for leaving it on the books. I'm sure I'm in the minority on that. You take a poll of all the people, but so be it. North Carolina News and Observer also reports senators walk back a proposed bill that would ban child marriages in North Carolina. I mentioned this yesterday. Senate Bill 35 in its original form would have banned anyone under 18 from marrying. When we first filed this bill, one of the things we were looking at is the fact that North Carolina has become a destination place for marriage for folks who are marrying children for sex trafficking. Senator Danny Britt said, we wanted to come up with a bill that would take us off that list and protect these children. But on Wednesday afternoon, Britt, a Lumberton Republican, brought an amendment forward that undid the majority of that bill. North Carolina is one of 2 states, Alaska being the other, that allows children to marry as young as 14. Under Britt's amendment, children as young as 14 can still marry, but only someone 4 years older or less. The marriage would need to be approved by a parent or a guardian with written notice given to the clerk of court unless the minor is emancipated. The bill would also allow children over 14 to become pregnant or have a child marry the father. A judge must rule, however, that marriage is in the best interest of the children. When you say in the best interest of the children, are you talking about the people getting married, or are you talking about the baby in the womb? Wow. Lawmakers decided not to move forward on a bill that would prevent transgender girls from playing on female sports team. Again, this earlier in the week, House Bill 358, mentioned this yesterday. The Save the Women's Sports Act is dead. And I'm, as I mentioned, I'm very disappointed that they allowed this bill to die. Tim Moore said they found no complaints, that this is not an issue. He said this is a bill looking for a problem. We had no examples of where this was really a problem, and I'm a believer that you shouldn't pass legislation unless there's a problem you're trying to address, Moore said. I mean, obviously, these things can spin up and get really controversial and all of that. So you know, before you go down that road, there needs to be, I would say, an articulated problem. Moore said when talking about the bill's sponsors, they confirmed they hadn't had complaints from anyone. Moore said to further compound the difficulties of taking up this bill, there's the possibility of Title IX violations. Title IX is a federal law that protects federally funded educational programs and activities from discrimination based on a person's gender. Yeah, but here's the thing. Title IX was a bill to protect women's sports, not to eviscerate it. And if you don't think this is going to arise, you're mistaken. And what are you saying to those biological males who identify as females that want to play on the girls' team by just saying, well, that's not an issue, so we're just going to forego it? You've just said, okay, according to the state legislature, it's not an issue, so go ahead and do what you want. Another bill I'm happy with on a state level is a bill from Representative John Bell out of Wayne County, and it's long overdue. It's called the Highway Cleanup Act, Advances in North Carolina. Bottom line is this bill is going to make it easier to get inmates out to clean up the roads. It's going to give financial help to the Department of Transportation to pick up litter. The other thing that I would like to see in this bill, though, is I'd like to see bigger fines to those people who are caught littering, because somebody's got to be throwing it out of the back of the car or the back of the truck for our highways to be as litter covered as they are, especially in the eastern part of the state. So kudos to John Bell and those who are advancing that bill. We're going to take a time out. When we come back, we're going to be talking about some interesting issues that affect our kids, affect education. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
And we're on location at one of my favorite places in the whole planet, because this is some of the best food you're ever going to eat in your life. We are at Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. It's one of my hangouts. It's one of the places that I love. I got my friend Pietro Pasalacqua. How'd I do?
You did great.
Let's talk about the food. What makes this place? I know it's special Italian from authentic Italians, but tell us why it's so special.
Because everything we do, it's really what we came up on the menu from what we did at home, from my grandparents, my parents. So it's exactly what we eat at home, and that's the way we cook. That's why it's special.
And the atmosphere in this place is special also. From the bar to the two dining areas. You got two different dining areas, and now the weather's nice, so there's going to be a lot of folks that want to eat outside.
Yeah, we have two rooms. One room is designed a little different. We're also working on the patio to make it more attractive and more useful in the summer with a cocktail service. And we're always improving our services.
And, of course, my friends here, my buddy, Chef Massimo, who I love, and Sal and Pietro, you guys do a great job here. Not just Italian, but I had a great pork chop here the other night. You got great steaks, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're also adding filet mignon in the future on our menu. And Massimo is coming out with a really good side dishes for it. And so we're really excited to come out with new meats and fish dishes.
All right, Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Same people that give you Marabello's and the great pizza that you get at Marabello's, but this is fine dining at Nino's. If you haven't been here, you don't know what you're missing. Come see them at Nino's on Red Banks Road. And Pietro, what is that famous saying about Nino's?
The food that you enjoy with people that you love.
Top Dog Academy is Eastern North Carolina's complete dog training facility. Top Dog provides an excellent environment for dogs of all ages with training services and work week daycare. Top Dog is located on Highway 43 South, just 4 miles from Bells Fork, and features a comfortable, healthy environment and a spacious facility for daycare and a brand new, beautiful facility for training. Call 752-8215 or visit topdogonline.com.
Come on out Highway 43 South to Top Dog Academy, where we know dogs.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast. Located in Beaufort, North Carolina.
Back to
Southern
News and
Living's
Views.
best
Talk
small town.
96.3 and 103.7.
All right, welcome back. It is 22 minutes past the top of the hour. Taking a look at your weekend weather forecast. Looks pretty good. Clear tonight, a low around 48. Tomorrow, sunshine with a high near 72. Tomorrow night, clear and pleasant with a low of 51. Sunday, more sunshine with a high near 84. So it's looking pretty good. Weather brought to you by our friends at University PC Care, I should say. They've been Eastern Carolina's go-to IT experts for quite a while now. Unfortunately, most organizations simply react to IT issues after the damage is done. This is known as the break-fix cycle in the tech services industry. Here's a quick example of what I mean. You show up to work one day, you find your computer's down, you submit a repair ticket, a tech shows up or tries to remote in your computer to fix it. All the while you're down, losing productivity, maybe even losing files. University PC Care's Business Services Division has a better way, a proactive solution called BizCare. BizCare tech support and cybersecurity plans are always on duty, staying ahead of potential problems, keeping you up and running with less downtime and much safer from threats like ransomware. Want to know more? Call William at 394-8572 to schedule a free BizCare consultation or go to universitypccare.com to learn more. Western Journal is reporting the Republican-controlled Idaho State Senate has passed a bill this week that would ban public and charter schools and universities from including critical race theory in their curriculums. The measure passed the Senate 27-8. After the State House approved it 57-12, it's now headed to the desk of Republican Governor Brad Little. House Bill 377, which concerns dignity and non-discrimination in public education, says the tenets of critical race theory exacerbate and inflame divisions on the basis of sex, race, ethnicity, religion, color, national origin, and other criteria in ways that are contrary to the unity of the nation and the well-being of the state of Idaho and its citizens. No doubt if the Governor Brad Little signs this, he will now be in the crosshairs of the liberals and the progressives and those who want to promote critical race theory along with other forms of liberalism. To talk about this issue and also perhaps to talk about some upcoming solutions, someone who might be familiar with our News and Views audience, Diane Ruffino. Diane filled in, I guess it's been a couple of years ago, wasn't it, when Sadie was out in Colorado. You co-hosted with me for a month or two, I guess it was. Yeah. And welcome back. It's been a while since we've been together.
Good to be back.
Good to see you
again.
Yeah. So, Diane, this is an issue that is it continues just to accelerate. It seems like in the public education system. You provided me with an article that was printed in the City Journal in March of this year, and we got the situation up in Idaho where they've been proactive, even though some of the legislators up there said, okay, while this has not been a major issue in Idaho, we're beginning to see it show up. Unfortunately, it sounds like it is an issue right now in North Carolina, at least up in Raleigh it is.
Yeah. So I hope our state follows that lead. Critical race theory has been adopted by teachers. It's not
Right.
a product of a bill or an executive order or anything like that, or a policy from the North Carolina General Assembly. It was a product of North Carolina teachers themselves up in the Wake County school system.
Well,
And that was
they
last year.
adopted it. I mean, they didn't invent it,
No,
obviously.
that was back in 1989 was the first articulation of a race theory.
That long ago.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Well, they were talking about it in the 60s and the 70s too, but articulation of an actual race theory was 89. So our teachers, and you know why the teachers are bringing this stuff up? Because the teachers aren't conservative. We all know what the political bent of the teachers are. They're very progressive and they're very socially conscious, social progressivism. There's all kinds of woke types of groups teaching. The Wake County School Board passed or adopted this and put it into place last year.
Yeah,
And
just
that's the
just
largest
last year.
school system, right? Largest
Right.
school system in the state.
Yeah, I don't know if that's which is larger, Mecklenburg or Wake County,
No,
but
they say
certainly
Wake County.
Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There is. They've started doing seminars for teachers. They had one last year that 200 teachers showed up. They talked about. Well, let me read from this article
Yeah.
out of the City Journal. Last year, the Wake County Public School System, which serves the greater Raleigh, North Carolina area, held an equity-themed teachers conference with sessions on, quote, whiteness, microaggression, racial mapping, disrupting text, encouraging educators to form equity teams in schools, and push the new party line anti-racism. That's a term you hear a lot now. The February 2020 conference began with a land acknowledgement, a ritual recognition suggesting that white North Carolinians are colonizers on stolen Native American land. Next, the superintendent of Wake County Public Schools, Kathy Moore, introduced the day's program and shuffled teachers to breakout sessions across 8 rooms. And by the way, this information was all obtained by a freelance reporter, A.P. Dillon, who got this through Freedom of Information request. At the first session, Whiteness in Ed Spaces, school administrators provided 2 handouts on the norms of whiteness. These documents claim that white cultural values include denial, fear, blame, control, punishment, and one-dimensional thinking. According to notes from the session, the teachers argued that whiteness perpetuates the system of injustice, and the district's whitewash curriculum was doing real harm to our students and educators. The group encouraged white teachers to challenge the dominant ideology of whiteness and disrupt white culture in the classroom through a series of transformational interventions. And this article goes on to say how they also are going out of their way to make sure parents, they just look at parents as interference, and they're going to do everything to circumvent the authority, the moral authority of parents over their kids, and they encourage teachers to do this. And basically they're saying that the ends justify the means of you overruling the parental authority of parents over their kids.
Yeah, it says to ignore the parents, and circumvent them. Teachers have the ultimate authority on how to raise the students or mind control the students to look at things in terms of race, whether or not that's how they're taught at home. But if they're not being taught at home, then they're not being taught right. So the teachers, they know better.
And this same ideology is not just being applied to the race issue. It's also being applied to the issue of sexuality.
Oh, yeah.
And transgenderism.
Oh, yeah. And
Big
it's a slippery
time.
slope, right? There's, I don't know how many genders there are now, but some people say it's over 200.
Wow.
I'm a biologist, so I kind of
You find that a little
I find
little
that
stretch,
a little
huh?
bit, yeah.
A little bit
It's
of a stretch, yeah. So anyway, I want to have you in today because you're involved with a project that's going to be taking place down in New Bern on Tuesday, May 11th. It's going to right now. We were talking before we came back after the break. Right now, it's scheduled to be at Moore's Barbecue at 3621 Martin Luther Boulevard in New Bern. But it sounds like you're getting such a phenomenal response. You might have to find a larger venue to have it in. But right now, that's the schedule. It's going to start at 11:30 in the morning on Tuesday, May 11th. So what is this event going to be? I know you've got a special speaker lined up. You're hoping to have Lieutenant Governor Mark.
Yeah, they've rescinded that.
Oh, he's not going to be able to make it?
No,
okay.
no.
But tell us about what you are going to do and what the goal is and how people can get involved.
Sure. So, unfortunately, Moore's Barbecue only has room for 40 people. And right now we're getting responses from Tea Party leaders, GOP leaders, conservative groups from like Onslow County, Dare County, Carteret.
Sounds like you might have to find a convention center to have it in.
Kinston, Pitt County wants to bring 3. So, I've been in touch with John Woodard, who's running it or organizing it almost every day, and he's like, I know there's a lot of people coming, they're just not responding, and so far they have some good numbers. The speaker is going to be Miss Sloan Rockmuth, and she's the president of Education First Alliance. And you were right about including Mark Robinson. That was a natural thing to do because he's a champion of education.
Yeah.
That's one of his.
And very outspoken on this issue.
Yeah, and with blackness and race theory in general and the history of race. He calls it a record of success. He's proud of it. He shouldn't be. Doesn't want people to be ashamed of the country because of the history. He wants people to be proud because we've overcome, legal wise, constitutionally wise. We've recognized our past sins. It's a history of recognizing past sins and doing the right thing. And that's what we should be teaching in school.
Sure.
Not continued discrimination, like we're bad people, like all whites are racist.
Well, I don't know if you heard Tim Scott. His response was phenomenal on this issue when he said, we're trying to solve past discrimination by encouraging new discrimination.
Yes, and he's right. And I'm a white woman. I'm paying a lot of money in taxes to support the school system in North Carolina, and they're bashing my culture.
Yeah,
I just find that so offensive.
So if folks want to come to this, again, what do you hope? Is the goal just to inform people, or is the goal to begin to give a plan of action to counter what's happening in the public school system?
The goal originally was to counter, to get people active. And, I'm a Tea Party leader, and my goal with the Tea Party is not just to educate, it's to activate. If you're not going to do anything about it, if you're just going to gripe, then you're not doing much. But
Sure.
if you're motivated to do something about it, then that's exactly what we want. Then I could really be proud of the Tea Party movement. It's supposed to be an action-oriented meeting, but it's also going to be informative. So Sloan is going to give a presentation. I understand it's going to blow people's minds, because she has all the inside information, especially from the Wake County school system. And I think after she's done, all these leaders are going to come up, brainstorm and come up with action plans. We all, sometimes there's too many people and then there's too many ideas. And sometimes if there's a smaller number, you can just hone in on a plan. So we'll see what happens. But this is a start. It's like we're finally waking up to what's going on. And, our school system is, we all know the government's trying to take control of the population. And, Saul Alinsky wrote about it. Joseph Goebbels did the same thing with the Nazi Party. One of the best ways to start taking control is to take control of the education. Get them while they're young, indoctrinate them, mind control, and then their job gets
And of course,
easy.
Joe Biden just this week said, hey, we want to start educating them at 3 and 4, not just to have child care.
Well, he has no mind.
No, but I mean, look, he's the face of the progressive movement, and they're saying let's begin to indoctrinate them at an even earlier age.
And that's That's so ridiculous, and it should be to anybody that's actually gone through a school system that, did education rather than indoctrination. A child's mind is not fully developed. It's not even fully developed
Right.
when he graduates high school.
Right.
They can't process everything, so they go on emotion rather than facts.
Well, that's
right?
what progressives do.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's the whole
so
point.
that's why they choose the youth, is because they like the emotion. They want to do the right thing, and gung ho, kumbaya.
So if somebody wants to come be a part of this, how can they get more information? You have a website or a phone number?
Well, they can contact. I can give John Woodard's cell number,
Okay.
which is, you got a pen out there?
Yeah.
It's 252-267-9512. Again, it's 252-267-9512. Now, I'm going to post a lot of remarks on critical race theory on the Eastern North Carolina Tea Party of Pitt County, and on a bunch of different.
Is that on Facebook or is that a
Yes,
website?
It's
Okay.
it's Facebook. It's,
So would they just go to Eastern North Carolina Tea Party?
yeah, and in parentheses of Pitt County, and I post a lot of stuff lately.
And there's probably information on this as well
Yes,
at that point.
yeah.
Okay,
mhm.
great.
And then I'm going to post an article on my blog site, and stay tuned because I'm going to follow up on this.
Okay.
And I'll probably follow up after the meeting with what we discussed.
Okay. Again, that's Tuesday,
Tuesday,
May 11th at 11:30. And right now it's at the Moore's Barbecue at 3621 Martin Luther King Boulevard, New Bern.
Yeah.
And if folks continue to contact John Woodard and Diane, then we're going to have to find a bigger venue.
Yeah, and actually, if you want more information about what critical race theory is, or more information about this meeting, and if you want to be notified after the fact what was accomplished, and my cell is 252-916-9605.
Very good. Diane Ruffino, thanks for coming back and sharing this with us. Good to see you
Thank
again.
you for inviting me.
Stay with us. I'll be right back.
Break the chain. Eat local. Tiebreakers.
Hey, this is Hank Hinton back here at Full Service Flooring in Winterville. I'm here today with Corey Little, who's the operations manager here at Full Service Flooring. Corey's been here 6 months, but you've been in construction a long time. Tell us about what you do here at Full Service Flooring.
Yeah, I got over here about 6 months ago. I've been in construction for, like I said, a little over 20 years, and I've known Tim for a long time now, and he's brought me over here to see what new kind of things I can bring to the store and to our customers. And I'm in charge of scheduling, and I don't know what else. I'm in charge of everything. It seems like we work together as a team and try to pull it all together. I might do a measure one day and do a commercial floor the next day, but we just kind of all work together and pull it all together at one time.
So what's new in flooring? What is the hot new thing?
The hot new thing is LVP or LVT, depending on what you're looking for, which look you're looking for. It's a waterproof product. It's absolutely fantastic. You can't really beat it.
A lot cheaper than hardwoods?
It is definitely a cost-effective alternative to hardwoods, yes, sir.
So, Corey, how is business right now?
And business is good. Despite the pandemic, we're still seeing a lot of new customers in the store, and we get an opportunity to introduce our products in a lot of different situations right now.
Corey, you've got a lot of experience in the construction industry. How is that helping you here with people, helping people with flooring here at Full Service Flooring?
Sure. I try to take the experiences that I've gained over my time in construction to help apply that to the flooring, whether it be with what the structure is made out of, the subfloor that we're going over top of, or maybe even just how it coordinates with your kitchen cabinets in construction or in your bathroom, and how the tub and everything all ties together.
And a customer can just come here and see you anytime?
Absolutely. We're here 6 days a week, and we just love to see a new customer in here anytime. They can always call us and schedule something with us so we can make sure we have our time allotted for them.
Corey, thank you so much. That's Corey Little here at Full Service Flooring. Come see these guys. They're on Tilco Drive in Winterville, 756-9308 and fullserviceflooring.com.
In North Carolina, we get up before the sun rises and stay up into the wee hours of the night. We believe in working hard and playing harder. Behind every meal, there's a farmer, and behind every farmer, there's got to be NC, the official state identity program for North Carolina agricultural products. Look for the Got to Be NC logo wherever you shop or eat, and you'll know you're getting a quality product grown, raised, caught, or made in North Carolina.
Ride shotgun with your 5 o'clock drive.
And the drive home should be a delight.
This is Tom Lamprecht with more news and views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
All right, welcome back in, and it is Friday. Getting ready for the weekend. So I talked earlier in the week about the fact that, and common news, everybody's heard about this, that the new census, the 10-year census has come out, and primarily red states, the more conservative states, grew. And as a result, some of these states gained seats in the House, including North Carolina, will now have 14 seats. However, it appears that there could have been some hanky-panky going on by liberals to make it not as bad as it could have been for the liberal side. In other words, Republicans are now questioning Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo on whether there was any political interference in the final census numbers used to decide how many House members each state would get for the upcoming decade. The letter is led by Representative James Comer of Kentucky, the ranking member of the House Oversight Committee. The Republican House members cited gaps between the number of House seats some right-leaning states were projected to gain back in December when the Trump administration was still overseeing all this, compared to the final numbers that came out this week. They told Raimondo, overseeing the Census Bureau, that they have questions about the methodology on the role the Biden White House may have played in releasing these numbers. Quote, the apportionment population results released by the Census Bureau are strikingly different from the population evaluation estimates released just months ago on December the 22nd of 2020. Remarkably, the difference benefit traditionally blue states which gain populations compared to the December estimates. So in other words, the numbers that came out in December, for example, in New York, the December numbers would have been a population of 19,336,776. However, the numbers under the Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo, when she released the numbers, New York had 900,000 more individuals. Now, is that a big deal? Well, it's an extra House seat. So, yeah, it's a big deal. As it is, New York lost one House seat. They would have lost two. Likewise, states such as New Jersey and Illinois experienced large population increases of hundreds of thousands of individuals compared to the December estimates. And again, this is why this is really odd, because then you go to red states such as Arizona, Florida, and Texas, and those numbers decreased as compared to the December estimates. Curious. So the blue, and again, at first glance you say, well, conservatives, they came out ahead on this. Yeah, so liberals lost, but it sounds like that there could have been not just a loss, but a major shellacking had the original numbers stayed intact. Are the estimates going to be that far off between December and April? House Republicans' letter was first high-profiled allegations that the Biden administration may have interfered with the census. There's been no other evidence besides the departure from the final numbers from the December estimates to indicate it did. The letter, also signed by 16 other Republicans, including Jim Jordan of Ohio and Virginia Foxx of North Carolina. According to some estimates, Texas was set to gain 3 seats. It gained 2. New York was projected to lose 2, rather. It only lost 1. According to the Census Bureau, differences between the estimates the Republican members cite and the final census appointment results are typically interpreted as error in the estimates and are used to inform research and methodological improvements over the decade. But Comer and the other Republicans in the letter to Raimondo said if the break between the estimates and the census results may be the result of something else. The trend calls into question whether there was any political interference with the appointment results released by the Census Bureau, they write. The GOP asked Raimondo for a trove of documents, including communication between the Census Bureau and the White House, and whether the counting of illegal aliens in the congressional appointment may have had an effect in the final result. Past denial counts have been counted, past 10-year counts have counted the illegal aliens. Comer and other Republicans also raised concern in their letter, saying their staffs were redirected to the White House for questions about the census. The Republicans continued, yet the statute is clear. It is the Secretary of Commerce who reports the appointment count to the president, not the other way around, referring to our staff's questions to the White House about results produced by the Census Bureau is entirely inappropriate. So how bad could it have been? It could have been a whole lot worse, apparently, and we'll see. Now, listen, if you're a Republican and you're waiting for these results, these troves of documents from the Department of Commerce, don't hold your breath. If there's some hanky-panky going on, they'll go to the typical stall tactic, which they've done for a long, long time. They'll continue to do it on this one. We got to take another time out. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Introducing Pepsi Mango.
Greenville Toyota has a big deal for you. Get up to 125% of what your trade is worth. Then drive a new vehicle with our big Greenville Advantage. Lifetime maintenance, no-cost oil changes, free loaners, and more. The Big Deal Sales Event, now at Greenville Toyota.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Sawyer's Fun Park in Winterville is now open. With over 40,000 square feet of family fun, daily money-saving deals, and a full-service restaurant, Sawyer's Fun Park is guaranteed to have something the whole family will love. Test your ninja skills on our 2-story obstacle course or head over to one of our 5 rock walls and race your friends to the top. And when you've worked up an appetite in our laser tag arena or our one-of-a-kind ropes course, grab a table over at the restaurant and try our world-famous Southern Monster Fries. Reserve your spot today at SawyersFunPark.com and come join in on the fun.
My name is Dr. Neeti Armistead, Chief Medical Officer for Vidant Health. The following simple steps will help keep you and your community safe. Stay home as much as possible, wear a mask when out in public, avoid large gatherings, practice social distancing, and wash hands often. It's also important not to delay needed care. Vidant has taken important steps to provide you and your family with a safe environment. Learn more about COVID-19 and Vidant's response. Call 252-847-8000 or visit vidanthealth.com/COVID-19.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
It's Greenville Toyota's Big Deal Sales Event. Our biggest selection with our biggest savings. Like Corollas, just $15,950. Camrys, only $18,950. Rush in before these big deals are gone. At Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
This one's for everyone who spends the amount of time it would take to watch a movie, agreeing on which movie to watch. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside.
This is your
at Pitt
Drive at
Greenville
5
Airport.
and ENC with Tom Lamprecht. Welcome back to News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
9 minutes before the top of the hour, the Epic Times is reporting that the Florida Republican-controlled Senate yesterday passed a new bill that places several restrictions around the vote by mail and ballot drop boxes. This will be interesting. I mean, they went crazy over Georgia. I'm sure they'll go crazy over this. The bill SB 90 was passed in the House 77-40, in the Senate 23-17. It now goes to the Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, who's expected to sign the bill. If signed, it would require signature verification for voters provided by a wet signature, that is, a physically signed on paper kept on file to access drop boxes. That would be limited to early voting hours unless they're located in an election supervisor's office. Drop boxes would also have to be monitored by in-person personnel of the elections offices. So, reasonable additions to the state law down there to have voter integrity, but the left will no doubt go crazy over this and talk about how it's racist and homophobic and xenophobic and any other phobias that they can come up with. This is humorous. This is really humorous. The Federalist is reporting President Joe Biden's son, Hunter, has landed a speaking gig at Tulane University where he will reportedly lecture to a class called Media Polarization and Public Policy Impacts on Fake News. I'm not kidding. I mean, if you want to know how bad our university system is, state universities across this country, this is Exhibit A. Joe Biden is going to be paid to come and lecture university students at Tulane University on fake news. Although, in a lot of ways, you're probably happy about it. A lot of ways, this does make sense. I mean, stop and think about it. Perhaps the biggest fake news story from this past election centered on Hunter Biden and the fact that the mainstream media and big tech refused to cover his story, his computer story, his story of being on that gas company board and making millions of dollars, and the fact that his dad was involved in it.
Very poor job.
Yeah. But so, I mean, maybe it's appropriate he's going to lecture. I mean, will he use himself as an example of fake news? I'm sure he'll use himself as an example, and he'll try to peddle it as how he was the victim of right-wing conspiracies. No, we never heard that before. He is one of 10 guests that will appear with other liberals from CNN. They actually have someone from Fox News, too, by the way, Juan Williams. Juan Williams, Juan Williams went on the other day and basically questioned, did any of the rioting occur last summer? Throughout the summer, we saw cities burn, and he questioned whether it actually happened. He's going to be one of the panelists, along with Hunter Biden. You can't make it up. The Hill is reporting U.S. embassies and consulates around the world have been authorized by the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, that they are authorized to display gay pride flags, the symbol of the LGBT community, during Pride Month. Now, stop and think about this. This was first reported, by the way, by the New York Times. The flags can be hung before May 17th, the International Day Against Homophobia and Transphobia. I didn't know there was such a day. Oh, I need to get my holiday calendar out and mark that down. Secretary Blinken is committed to the rights and prosperity of our LGBTQ community, both our employees at state and around the world. Well, that's fine. They have the same rights that everybody else has. But do you put up a flag? First of all, you're putting up a gay pride flag on the same flagpole with the flag of the United States of America, I think that's somewhat insulting to the patriots to our country. But here's my other question, too. What are you going to do this for other causes? I mean, there's a Christian flag. What if an ambassador wanted to fly the Christian flag over the embassy they're working at during the Christmas holidays? Are you going to permit that? You're not? Gee, what a shock that is. Again, you're seeing firsthand how the progressives continue to push their narrative, how they continue to use the false narrative of discrimination in order to push their liberal agenda. Hey, listen, want to end on a high note, so I'll just say this. Have a great weekend. It's going to be beautiful weather. Go to church on Sunday, and we'll see you Monday at 5 o'clock. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right, all right, all right.
Toyota has a big deal for you. Get up to 125% of what your trade is worth. Then drive a new vehicle with our big Greenville Advantage. Lifetime maintenance, no-cost oil changes, free loaners, and more. The Big Deal Sales Event, now at Greenville Toyota.
In North Carolina, we get up before the sun rises and stay up into the wee hours of the night. We believe in working hard and playing harder. Behind every meal, there's a farmer, and behind every farmer, there's got to be NC, the official state identity program for North Carolina agricultural products. Look for the Got to Be NC logo wherever you shop or eat, and you'll know you're getting a quality product grown, raised, caught, or made in North Carolina.
We're on location at Fabric and Home Furnishings, and I'm back with my friend Lisa Pendry. And Lisa's been telling me about all the great renovations that have been going on here in the store, and I've been looking around, and it looks fantastic. Tell us what you've done here.
Well, we've knocked some walls down, we've painted, we've added some new vendors, lots of new exciting things going on. So we're making room for everybody to get what they need to transform their homes.
Looks fantastic in here. Last time we talked, you were saying that you were able to deliver a lot faster than most other furniture stores. Is that still the case?
It is. It's changed a little bit, but we're still looking at around 8 to 10 week delivery, and we do sell our floor samples right off the floor.
All right, we always say that Fabric and Home Furnishings is more than just a fabric store, so tell us what the more is all about. What when people come in, what should they expect?
Well, we love to get to know our customers. I have the best crew I've ever had, and everybody on my team is an interior designer. So we offer in-home design service, which we always have, but now they can each come out to your home after they work with you in here, figure out what's going on in your residence or your commercial property to pull it together and help you make everything beautiful.
You got great folks here.
I do.
I can tell you, I haven't gotten to know them. It's like a family when you come in here, and everybody gets along well, and you can tell that these guys and gals really know what they're talking about when it comes to interior design.
They do, and that's really what makes us different. We offer complete in-home design service. We don't charge a by-the-hour fee. It's a flat one-time fee. We work with you in here, in your home, in your business, and help pull everything together.
All right, it's more than just a fabric store. Fabric and Home Furnishings in Arlington Village. Come see this lady. She's fantastic. Fabric and Home Furnishings. Come see the renovations here in Arlington Village. And thank you for the visit today.
Thank you, Henry.
All right, you got to come see what they've done in the store here on Arlington Boulevard in Arlington Village.
Greenville Toyota has a big deal for you. Get up to 125% of what your trade is worth. Then drive a new vehicle with our big Greenville Advantage. Lifetime maintenance, no-cost oil changes, free loaners, and more. The Big Deal Sales Event, now at Greenville Toyota.